Hi, this is Teacher Chris. Welcome to Math Dali. In this video, we're going to talk about trapezoids and its properties. So let's take a look at the properties of trapezoid. We have here trapezoid and an isosceles trapezoid. So when we say trapezoid, it has a pair of parallel sides. And then when we say an isosceles trapezoid, it has a pair of parallel side and congruent legs. And also, additional to that one, it has also congruent angle. So for us to be able to discuss the trapezoid, let's work on our first example. On our first example, we have here the figure isosceles trapezoid ABCD with an angle 45. So our goal here, or the problem here, is to find out the other angles. So first, let's draw the trapezoid ABCD. Given that it is an isosceles, we can now say that the legs are equal. Again, if the legs are equal, we can now say that the base angles are equal. Given that this is 45 degree, we can also say that the other one is 45 degree. Again, take note of this. It only happens if and when the given is an isosceles trapezoid. So our problem here is to find the measure of angle A and B, or the angle CAB and angle ABD. So according to the properties of a quadrilateral, consecutive sides must always be supplementary. So if they are supplementary, the sum of these two must be 180. For us to be able to get the values of, or the angles of A and B, we are going to subtract 45 from 180. And 180 minus 45 will give us 135. Therefore, this one will be 135 degree. And if this is 135 degree, the other one also will be 135 degree. Let's proceed on our second example. On our second example is, we're going to determine the midline. So before we proceed to the midline, what is a midline? When we say midline, it is the midline between the bases. So for us to be able to find the measurement of the midline, we are going to get the average between the bases. When we say average, it's just like getting the sum of two bases and then divide it by 2. So given here that we have here a trapezoid STRQ, and we have here the midline. ST is, according to the figure, is 7, and RQ is 29. So according to the midline theorem, we are just going to add 7 and 29, then divide it by 2, or we're just going to get the average of the bases. So 7 plus 29 is 36, and 36 divided by 2 will give us 18. Therefore, this one is 18 cm, because the unit of measure given earlier is cm. Again, whenever we are talking about the midline theorem, it is just like getting the average of the bases. When we say average, it's just like adding the bases and then divide it by 2. Let's proceed on our third example. On our third example is that a problem or problems involving the midline theorem. Given the following trapezoid ABED, so we have here trapezoid ABAD. Let me just first draw it. ABED. So with the midline FC. AB is 2 cm. ED is 9 cm. And FD is x plus 2 cm. So again, whenever we are dealing with the midline, we are just going to get the average of the two bases. It just happened here that it has an unknown, or we need to find the value of x. So we have here x plus 2 as the midline, or the length of the midline, and it must be equal to the average of the two bases, 2 cm and 9 cm. 2 plus 9 over 2. So 2 plus 9 is 11 over 2. And it must be equals to x plus 2. Next thing we do is to make x plus 2 a fraction by putting 1 so that we can do the cross multiplication. It becomes 2 times x plus 2 is equals to 11 because 1 times 11 is 11. And then afterwards, we solve for the value of x. We have here 2x by distributing plus 4 is equals to 11. Twice a certain value of x or twice a certain value of unknown plus 4 is 11. Transposing 4 to the other side will make us 11 minus 4 equals to 2x. And 2x is equals to 11 minus 4 is 7. Divide both sides by 2. And x here will be 3.5. Therefore, again, whenever we are dealing with problems like this one, wherein the unknown is the midline, we are just going to use the midline theorem. According to the midline theorem, the midline will always be equals to the sum of the bases of the given, to the sum or to the average, the average of the bases of a trapezoid. For us to get the average of the trapezoid, we just add and then divide it by 2 and it must be equals to the midline. So, for us to be able to do this one, we just do the indicated operation. 2 plus 9 is 11 and the over 2. So, for us to be able to find the value of x, I make this one be a fraction by putting 1 so that I can apply the cross multiplication. After cross multiplication, I now use the distribution property. 2 times x and 2 times 2. It must be equals to 11 because 1 times 11 is 11. And then we have here 2x plus 4 is equals to 11. And then, isolating 2x, by transposing 4 to the other side, we have here 2x is equals to 11 minus 4. And 11 minus 4 is 7. 2x is equals to 7, then dividing both sides by 2 will give us x as 3.5. So, the value of x is 3.5, but the question here is, what is the length of FC? So, for us to be able to find the length of the FC, we are going to make x be 3.5. If x is 3.5, we have here 3.5 plus 2. And 3.5 plus 2 will give us 5.5 cm. Therefore, the length of FC is 5.5. If and when the question was, what is the value of x, 3.5 will do. But if the question was, what is the length of FC, we're going to evaluate x or we are going to make x be 3.5. Therefore, your answer must be 5.5 cm. That's all for this video. Bye!